Hello.
Welcome back to another week of lockdown.
Yes.
Van life. We didn't kind of like want to go through the same rigmarole of this is what we've done this week. Although, saying that, we have done this week.
What are we doing?
Well, it was a close call between where we put the naughty corner sign over the toilet door, over the driver's seat or over the bed. But we counted all your votes
Yes.
and the toilet door won.
The toilet door won. So there we go.
There we go, folks.
No going back now.
No, that's it.
Go on, babe. You're good at screwing.
That's it.
There we go.
That is the naughty corner.
Right, in you get.
Oh. I think it's about time to do something a bit less mundane than watching us kind of like tinker around the van
And cook.
and make Cooper look pretty.
Yes. Yes.
So last week we put out a couple of shouts out on social media. So BRoll Mandy,
Yes.
obviously Gadgets on the Tour on Instagram, and also we did the community tab on our YouTube channel and basically said we're doing a Q&A video this week. If you'd like to ask us absolutely anything non-technical related,
Yeah, because there's already a whole other video for that.
yeah, then please do so, including somebody who asked, will you even answer the silly questions? So that's the silliest one we're going to start off with.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to answer them all.
As you will figure
Yeah.
out, because this is not only a Q&A to find out more about us, it's also to find out more about our subscribers, because we
more
have
about you.
brilliant subscribers.
Yeah, more about you and what interests you.
Yeah.
So
we just love it for that. We have had a whole realm of questions and it's entertained us just reading them. So thank you for everybody that's asked questions. I do have a few different questions that we won't have the little thing on screen for because they were asked during the live Vantech Tuesday we did.
yeah, and unfortunately that seems to have been corrupted or lost by YouTube.
That's
So
just gone.
sorry
So
about that.
thankfully, while I was on, while John was answering the Vantech Tuesday questions, I was making a note of who was asking the questions that we're going to include today. So the shout out request is from Caroline Woods. So
Hello.
hi Caroline. She works at Wrexham Maylor Hospital in North Wales, and she's asked if we can give a shout out to Sister Owie and the team on the isolation ward as they're looking after all the COVID-19 patients.
Yeah.
So hi everybody.
Hi.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much, and please keep up the good work and keep safe.
Yeah, hope you're all healthy and safe and well as well. And thank you so much for what you're doing.
Yes, thank you.
So let's get cracking with the questions.
We've been asked this by a couple of people. We've got Debs Bird and Gower Vanica, which is Kazzy and Nick.
Yep.
They asked how we met and was it love at first sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pain in the bum first sight.
Aww. Dear me.
We met at my sister's house.
Yeah, I went round there with a group of friends who knew her sister.
Yep.
And we didn't really kind of chat.
Talk much.
No,
just a
like
little
that
bits of
night.
chatting. I was visiting my sister.
Yeah, and then a few days later I was driving down the road, saw Mandy walk in, and knew that she was probably on her way home, because obviously I did know at that time where she lived and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, just kind of like offered her a lift home.
Yep.
And
Gave
then
me a lift home, and then we agreed to meet up again.
yeah.
And
then she sent me some
some filthy Valentine's cards.
yeah. But as for love at first sight, within a month of kind of like seeing each other, I'd ask her to marry me.
Yeah.
So
And it just has always felt like it's just as it's supposed to be.
yep.
Isn't it? A pain in the ass.
Grumpy. Right.
Next question. It was from Sue. It just says Sue. This was off the live chat.
Right.
What was Mandy's job before she left? When you read it out, it is the most boring job in the entire world. But I provided IT support for construction accounting software. So I made sure that it all added up right and did what it's supposed to do and dealt with accountants all the time. So I loved it. It's a brilliant job.
So next question, and this one does relate to the very first question we were asked, which was
Are you
we going to answer the silly questions?
Whereas this might not be silly, it's definitely unusual.
It's very out there.
Yeah, I thought it was wonderful.
It's the most tangible reference to camper vanning I've ever heard. So,
But you know, when you read one of those questions and it's like, oh, and you go, oh, I didn't expect that. Oh, you'll see. You'll see.
Off you go.
So it's from TTXELA. And they say, do you think that we're alone in the universe? Or with the potential of 60 billion habitable planets in the Milky Way, do you think we might one day be visited by interstellar travellers in space campers? That's the twist. And if so, what solar panels would you recommend to them to take advantage of the vast amount of solar radiation outside the upper atmosphere? That is literally the best question ever. Isn't it?
It's very out there. I do like it. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to jump into the second part of the question first.
Yes.
And that would be, solar panels. Obviously, like, you've got to get, like, you know, trillions and trillions of watts of solar panels. But moreover, if you're going to be travelling, like, in your space camper, you would want solar sails as well, I think.
Oh, yes, some solar sails. They're cool.
So definitely some solar sails.
Oh, what about a solar wind turbine?
For the solar winds.
Yeah,
because if you're on the dark side of the moon, then you won't get solar power, so you'd need your turbine.
Yeah, backup power.
Definitely.
And all, you know.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And for the first part of the question, what I'm going to say on this one is we're going to tease you a little bit now. So please use the comment section down below to answer this little teaser.
Yeah, so you have to tell us the film that this quote is from. It says, if it is just us out there, it'd be an awful waste of space. So the next question is from Richard Relfell.
Could be.
Yeah, Relfell, yeah. Do you think you sold your house at the wrong time?
Really good question, that one. And honestly, no. I think we sold it at the right time for two reasons. First of all, it looks like house prices might crash after this event. And the second one, I have had no work come in during what's going on right now, so I would be struggling to pay my mortgage right now, and you know, we might be furloughed or whatever, and it's just struggling with money is not something we're doing right now because we're perfectly okay. If we had a house, we probably would be. So
the only thing I do miss with the house thing is the fact we haven't got a back garden to let Coopy just run wild in. One of us has to go out with him. And that is the only downside to it. So the next question is from Marcy Casey, and she says, new to your channel, but was wondering how you all felt the first time out on the road. Were you scared, confused, or really happy, or something else?
First very time out on the road was in our motorhome, which really hasn't featured on this channel. It is over on our other channel, and we did a trip in France to watch the Tour de France.
Yeah, we did the Tour de France.
We didn't really make videos. It was more of a drone video that I made, so there's a little bit of the camping. I'll link it up there or in the video description so you can see. And that was different because it was the first time we'd ever done any wild camping, you know, camping in laybys at the side of the road and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we didn't intend to. We booked a campsite at first, and then we went in, and the French guy turned around and said, "Why are you staying in a campsite? It's the Tour de France. Go out on the road."
Yeah, it's all right. Park anywhere you want. And we're like, sure.
Yeah. So the first 3 days we got there early, didn't we? We were literally parked. We had the road where the bikes were coming on one side of us, and the beach on another, and there was a bit just about as wide as the camper van in the middle.
Yeah.
And it was brilliant, and that was our very first thing. Bit freaked out by being so close to the road, wondering about every noise you could hear.
Including 3 AM, hearing people whispering outside the van, and hearing really weird noises, and opening the window and seeing people spraying the names of the rider or team they were supporting on the road.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was like, okay, that's cool, but
yeah. So at first we were like, "What's that noise?" And then we thought it was brilliant, and we're just like kicking ourselves that we hadn't taken anything, so we could go and ride on the road instead. So yeah, you get used to it though.
Yeah, and I would say like this time round, obviously in the camper van and now this van, we're used to it, but you do get like a sixth sense for park ups. Yeah. You don't get ever ignore your gut. No, go where you gut every time. Your gut,
and you'll figure out where's good and where's not. Next question is from Sue Jones, and she said, "Hi John, Mandy and Cooper. Do you feed Cooper the same food all the time, or just what you're able to get in each country when you travel?" We stocked up a lot with Cooper's food before we went, because he is a delicate little flower and his belly
Fussy
goes off
bugger.
a lot. Oh yeah, but his belly goes off with too much stuff. But he is fussy. If he doesn't
Yeah.
like the look of something, then he will not eat that, regardless of how hungry he gets.
Put it this way, he's that fussy about his eating, he wouldn't eat for the first few days in this van until we put the floor mats down and it was carpet, and then he would eat.
Because it's the same carpet as the last van, which was the same colour as the mat that he had down in the kitchen in the house.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of dog we're dealing with.
Yeah. So we basically took lots of stock. We ran out probably on the last month.
Well, we needed to top up when we were in Gibraltar, which was really handy, because we went to Morrison's and managed to get some. It wasn't the same food he was on, but we got some Harringtons, which he's had on before. So that was really helpful to get that there. But yeah, it lasted up until a week. 2 weeks before?
Yeah, I think it was a couple of weeks before we ran out, and then we
Yeah.
started to mix it up with other things. We did find all sorts of awful and awful things.
Yeah, because
So
he
it
gets
was trial and error.
this stuff. It's got potatoes and peas, and it's really nice stuff. What he has, it's nachoro, and the stuff that you could get that was the same kind of consistency in France, Spain, or Portugal.
Yeah.
You could see all like the arteries in there, and it was just
Wasn't nice
awful
stuff.
smelling mush. So he knew, and he was just like, "I'm not eating that, Mum.
Yeah.
What are you on about?" So he got chicken and
Yeah.
things instead. So we try to keep it the same.
Yep, as much as we can.
As much as we can, but you've got to go with what you've got to go with.
Yeah. Next question.
Next question is from Elliot McNamara, who says, "What are plans for winter if you can't travel to Europe?"
And somebody else has asked us this question as well, or it's been asked in various guises.
Ian Morg.
Hi Ian.
And
And he says, yeah, go on.
Yeah. And he says, when this whole COVID nightmare blows over and say July, August and restrictions are lifted, would you consider going back abroad again this year, or would you want to stay in the UK?
So, both questions kind of the same related thing, and that is, yes, once we are free to travel, whether that be the UK or all of Europe, we will be travelling. If it's just the UK, then we'll probably do Cornwall or the South Coast, Jurassic Coast, somewhere like that. Maybe a bit of Wales, don't know.
Oh, North Yorkshire. We had
North
some
Yorkshire.
lovely week over in Brunswick Bay and Staithes and stuff. We love it over there. It's like Cornwall in Yorkshire, really, isn't it? It's brilliant.
Less crowded.
Yes. Yeah. So we would quite happily stay in the UK, even if it's cold and wet.
Yeah. But otherwise, if we are able to go back and travel into Europe, then yes, we want to do that as well, and go see more of France, because we really rushed through France on the way down there and a little on the way back as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we do love France, and if we're going to go visit people and we're down Jurassic Coast way anyway, there's nothing stopping us from just popping over for 2 or 3 weeks just to make the most of the amount of money it costs to get over there.
Just
and
popping over to France.
Hey, people do it as a booze run, it's just like on the channel, off you go. But if we're down there anyway, living in Manchester, the biggest deal has always been getting to Folkestone.
Yeah, it's a long way.
So if we're down that way anyway, you should, as long as money permits, we should make the most of it, I think.
Yeah.
So the next question is from What Would Gordon Do? And you often have to ask yourself, what would Gordon do? Don't you know?
Yeah.
Which is Phil and Shauna.
Yeah, we've got
Mazda Bongo.
which is called Gordon.
Yeah. So what would Gordon do?
Yeah, on Instagram.
Yeah. And they say, "Hi guys, I hope you're having a really safe Easter. Our question to you is that you hinted a while back that you were trying out a new camera setup. Can you tell us what it is?"
Using it right now.
Yeah.
I've been using it for probably 2 months now, and we've actually had it for a year, and we avoided using it because it's not that convenient to carry around. And it's a Canon G7X Mark III.
You can read it off the front and everything there.
I can actually, yeah. So it's a point and shoot camera with a flip up screen so you can see yourself in selfie mode, and it's got a mic input on the side so we can use a nice little external mic for better quality audio. It's got an f1.8 lens with the usual point and shoot kind of like zoom lens to it. I think it's a 24-25mm to 200mm equivalent, thereabouts. And it's quite decent actually.
Yeah, it is.
Quite like
really
using
good.
it now. It's taken a while to get used to it.
That's because he's not a Canon guy. I've always had Canon
Yeah.
cameras, so it's been like the interface is familiar for me, but that's been a learning curve. Interface.
So yeah, I like using it now. I did get there. The ability to focus on things is not its strongest point. but we're hopefully getting around that one. And we've almost exclusively used it for every video for 2 months, and then we're using our phones most of the time.
As long as I clean my lens.
Yeah, we've not touched the Osmo Actions or anything like that.
Not for a while.
Unless it's the dash cam used for driving down the road. That's probably about it, really.
Yeah.
Next question.
Next question from Affordable Camper Vans. Hopefully they have affordable camper vans.
I'd hope so.
Yeah. Why am I called BRoll Mandy?
Well, related to the previous question, whilst recording video that you're not talking to and you're going to use to demonstrate something, maybe whilst you're talking or just as a bit of an overview of what you're doing, that in the world of making videos is called B-roll. Your A-roll is this, the bit that we're talking to and it's got your attention. The B-roll is what you might put over the top to show a video of, like, say, something that you're talking about, or something to transition between one point and another.
So we would be driving down the road and I've got a camera in front of me and there'd be all of these beautiful vistas. You've seen them all in our videos anyway, with all these lovely scenic things, and I'd be going, ooh, isn't that nice, look out the window. And then John would go, B-roll Mandy. And then I made a joke and said maybe I should just change my name to that, and then I did.
No, she didn't make a joke. Maybe I should just change my name to B-roll Mandy. And I went, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and there you go. So that's what that is.
There we go.
Next question is from the Matchbox Out and About. Although I have had a few other messages direct to my Instagram account, and we had a few people asking on the live. I didn't get everybody's name, so sorry if you don't get a mention. Saying Happy Easter, Happy Easter. Please would Mandy give us her recipe for the water, vodka, something else spray that you use in the toilet to cut down on flushes. Proportions, please. So there is a blog post on its way, and in that I've got the few things that I use to clean the van that I make myself. Yeah. So we've got the toilet spray, the all-purpose cleaner, a toilet scrub, my deodorant.
Oh yeah.
These doggy toothpaste. So there's just going to be for the things that I make myself for use in the van, because we don't like having chemicals around if we don't need it. So yeah, that's going to be a blog post, and that should be up by the time you watch this video. The next question is from Pilgrim Pods. Can you tell us what it's like living full-time in a motorhome with Coop? We're at the beginning of our own camper van build and we're interested in any challenges you've had with him. We have a Springer called Merlin and wonder how you manage to travel with Coop and leaving him in your motorhome if you ever do. This would be something we'd be nervous about doing ourselves. Yeah,
we were quite nervous about leaving Coop as well. As far as travelling with him, there's no trouble. He unfortunately doesn't like travelling in the van, so we make it as comfortable as we can for him, and we choose to drive for as short times as possible and then stop and have a break and stuff like that. As far as living in the van with him, it's a confined space living with a dog. There are going to be challenges, but he's quite alright with it, really, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's better in here. Van, yeah. But one thing that we always found is if I was cooking or anything like that, I would just get him off the floor.
Yeah.
So I get him on one of the seats or on the bed or something, and that made it so he wasn't getting moved around all the time. The worst thing is when it rains, but that's the same with any dog, just because you can't then put them up on the furniture to get them out of the way. You've got to let them dry off and then deal with wet towels and things.
And as for leaving him in the van, we bought a little internal cam. It's called a Neos Smart Cam. I'll link it down below and link my review down below as well to it, and that allows us to keep an eye on him if we are out in a van, and it even alerts us if he moves or starts to bark. You get an alert on your phone. And that's helped us a lot to feel more at ease leaving him.
Yeah, even if it's just been us both popping into the supermarket instead of one of us going one at a time. When you could go, just drive up and go to the supermarket with no problems.
All those nice things.
Yeah, so we'd both then be able to go in and leave him because we were fine with that. We have seen some funny antics that he's been getting up to. We've seen him trying to jump on the bed at the back of the old van and not quite make it, which is falling backwards, which is one of the reasons why we're just like, if he can't move around in the van on his own, we need a different van. So little things like that make all the difference. Having him somewhere where he likes to sleep, out of the way at night, just getting his own little area was something we found quite difficult to give him a dedicated area.
Yeah.
But that seems to have worked out well. Here it's under the table. In the old van, it was under our bed.
Yeah.
So we lost some storage, but then he gained his own little hidey hole.
Yeah.
I think those have just been the main things, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Next question.
Next question is from This Girl Loves Colin Wahle. And she says, "Hi there, not sure you want to answer this question, but I'll go for it anyway." See, we answer questions.
We answer all the questions.
Yeah. "We plan to do something similar to you guys in the next few years, but I'm a worrier and worry about what will happen when we get much older, in our 70s, etc. You don't see many people on here who are older and live in the van life, especially those who have sold their homes and are totally living in a van. Do you just have plans? Do you have plans for such a time, or are you just living for the day at the minute? And does it not bother you?" Hubby says I just should stop worrying, but something tells me we should have a base to fall back on.
It's an odd one. Yes, we do have a plan B, but our plan B, strangely enough, is probably like a static caravan or something like that.
Yeah.
And either not as a permanent base, but one that you can bob back to between, trips out in the van.
Even ones with like winter shutdowns where we just go in the van and we just bugger off for 3 months while they're shut down at that place and just do things like that.
Mainly because we do know of a lot of people that are in their 70s and 80s that are still doing this. We've met a lot of them on the road as well.
Yeah.
And at meetups.
Yeah, we met a guy in Tarifa called Alan.
Yeah, and his mate Steve.
Yep.
And it was Alan, Steve.
And Alan's been in his, I think it's his 11th year this year.
Yeah.
He's in his 70s, sprightly guy, 70s. He's just done a big tour of Morocco. There's nothing stopping him, and there's not going to be anything stopping him. He's going to crack on forever, that guy. He is a pucker bloke.
And then there's Hazel as well, that we
Hazel,
met at the
Boondockers. Yep.
And she's got no issues. She sadly, obviously, I think she lost her husband and they bought the van together and she carried on touring. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. And she's always out and up there, posts lots of updates on Instagram showing people what she's up to and stuff. So age shouldn't be something that bothers you. It really shouldn't. I mean, health at any stage might be something that changes what goes on, whether you're capable of doing it or not. That might be the game changer. But like I said, we're going to do this as much as we possibly can, and our plan for when we can't do this is probably going to be a static or something like that, simply because we still want to live a relative kind of travelling lifestyle. Yeah,
there's so much we want to see, and there's so much we've seen before we want to go and see again. So it just be we think if as we get maybe a little bit older, or as we get through some of the sites we want to see, it might be nice just to have somewhere to go back to.
Yeah, somewhere to call a base. Yeah. Right, next question, and we love this one.
Yeah, it's from CNC Van Life, and they say, "We have a question." Lots of smiley faces. Does Coop have a girlfriend? If not, Meg wants to know if he would like to go on a date. Well,
so here's a picture of Meg.
This is little Meg. Oh, let's come back here a minute. There we go. So this is little Meg. Matchy spaniels.
Yeah, matchy. So they'd make obviously a lovely couple.
Oh, lovely couple.
Yeah.
So so we think that Cooper would love to meet Meg when all of this lockdown is sorted.
Yeah.
Because she looks beautiful.
Yes.
Yes.
So remember that guy who asked the question that would you answer any silly questions?
Yes.
Well, we've said have answered a silly question, and we're now going to answer probably the silliest question.
It's a very cheeky, silly question. It's from Chris Naylor, 1967. Hi, Chris. Chris does comment a lot on stuff. What is the longest time, Mandy, that John has gone without ordering something? I have to say, it was our little European trip we've just done.
It was.
Just because he couldn't.
Yep.
Really, that was it. So I'd say 3 months would be the longest. However, you should have seen the size of his Amazon basket before we came back.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks on our way back. Once we knew rough dates, I had over 80 parcels delivered to family's house so we could go pick it up on the way.
Yeah.
So everything you've seen us fit to this van, like solar panels and everything, imagine that taking up somebody's house for 2 weeks while we came and collected it.
Yeah, as soon as we knew we were getting this van, he's just like, bing, 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 bing. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, there's not normally a gap. Right.
Next question, and this is the last question.
Yes, thank God everybody says. And this is from Simon Hope 6281, who says, "Evening both. Afternoon, evening, both. Enjoyable to watch your videos, see your journey over the years and ultimately lead to making that step to leaving work and house to make your dreams a reality. How do you feel now reflecting back on that journey? How have you found the change in seeing family, friends and work colleagues? And lastly, do you have any feeling for what you would like your cyclic calendar to look like, e.g. repeating heading south for the first few months of the year kind of thing?
I think, to answer it in reverse, I don't think our plans were to have a repetitive Central Europe, Northern Europe, UK kind of travel plan. I think ours was travel where we wanted to go when we felt like we wanted to go there, really, for the duration that we thought would be a good time to explore the area. I know
lots of people like just to head for the sun.
Yeah.
We found lots of those people in the sun when we were there at winter.
Yeah.
But as much as I don't like the cold, I don't like it enough to avoid it completely. You know, I'd like to go somewhere where you can find snow in winter sometimes and sun at others.
Yeah. So I'd say that's part of that one. As far as kind of like the step from leaving work, for me that's a difficult one because I've not actually left work. I still work remotely when work's there, which right now obviously no one's working, so I'm not working. So you can answer that one. How do you feel now that you've left work?
Yeah, there was obviously big excitement at the beginning to not have to do what I've been doing. I was at that job for 14 years, and to suddenly not have to do it and it be okay. You know, I wasn't struggling or trying to look for my next job or anything like that. It was just like this massive big sense of relief. And as time has gone on, I mean, as I'd said earlier, I used to look after accounting software for construction companies, which included payroll software. So in April and the leading up to April, it was mental because we'd always do all the updates for tax codes and stuff like that.
End of year accounts and everything, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was always mental. And I'd been texting my colleague and my boss, and just seeing how things were going. And they're like, oh yeah, it's crazy. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. Like, completely forgot. After 14 years of it being mental and not being able to take holidays and stuff, I forgot that that's what they would all be doing now.
You did have something for probably the first maybe two months, and that was a feeling of being lost, of not having
like I didn't have anything to do. And it being okay to not have anything to do, like a job. You know, it's like, after working for so long, you're just like, well, what do I do now? No kids, so I spent a lot of quality time with Cooper. But yeah, it's been miss friends. You know, we've been texting everybody and video chatting now even more than before, and family. So it's been nicer to get the opportunity just to text at any time of the day. Although I've been texting during the day, and then people are like, oh, sorry, I was busy at work, and I'm like, okay.
But I do think since leaving the house. Sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, it's fine.
Okay. I do think since leaving the house, the opportunity to go and see family and friends is far better now. Yeah,
because we've got nothing to rush back to. We're not rushing back to work. Or
spend more time with them. You could go and see parents for 2-3 days, or relatives for 2-3 days, and then go and spend a couple of days with our friends who we go camping with and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's been helpful. As far as the house, leaving the house, I know this might sound awful, but I have no connection. It was a place where I worked and lived, and the day I left, I didn't shed a tear, wasn't bothered by it.
No.
It wasn't like the excitement overwhelmed this new change is better than the last bit or anything like that. It's just I didn't really have any connection with the house.
I think it was so long in coming as well. We had to wait, and we had all the fuss and stuff, and there was 1 minute it was this time, and then we had to wait ages, and all sorts of uncertainty going on about how it was going to happen and when. Then we gave ourselves lots of time to prepare for it, so it wasn't this big shocker of, oh, now we've not got the house. I mean, don't get me wrong, we miss 40-minute long hot showers and toilets that flush. You don't have to worry about where that's going to go.
And endless electric. Fair enough, you've got to pay for it, but it's endless electric. Yeah,
so it really is just those things that that are missed, but not all the time. It's not like I wish we could do this. It's nothing like that. But yeah, I mean, we when we came home from Europe, we had all of these plans to go and see all of our friends, spend some good quality time with them, and family members, you know, meeting up in places where they can stay in B&Bs if they don't camp, and just get to see them all for such a better quality of time. And that's kind of, it's been scuppered for now.
Yeah, been put on hold for now, isn't it?
But yeah, so it feels like we're missing friends and family just that little bit more, just because plans were ruined. The plans were postponed
Put on hold,
and changed, and we were really looking forward to it. So, but yeah, that's it really. We don't think we've done the wrong thing at all.
No.
We don't look back.
No regrets at all.
No regrets at all. Apart from both being able to go to the toilet at the same time in the old house.
I'm not bothered by that.
It was handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching the video. It might have been a bit longer than normal, but we figured, you know, you've got a bit of spare time on your hands right now.
Just like we have to make one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you are all safe and well,
Yes.
and dealing with everything that's going on right now. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next video.
We will. Take care.
Take care, everyone.
See
See you
soon.
later.
Bye.